Hey, welcome to space where there's no news.
This is Viog, Kevin, Matt, and this week we've got some interesting topics for you, and we're starting it off with...
Not much, there's no news in space,
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
not.
But we're going to give you some updates on the Ep014. Kevin's going to tell me
O.J.
about...
Simpson's back in the news.
Yeah, he's doing that, and there's DJs pranking people and them killing themselves. That happened a while ago, but we're going to kind of rehash it.
Yep.
I've
got a review on your own performance.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened last week at the stand-up thing.
I've got a review on a DVD, so check that out. It's Rosemary's Baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Justin Bieber's saying some racist things.
Oh, what's he doing now? You'll have to tune in to watch that.
And what's with girls beating the shit out of guys all the time?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, not nice.
Peep that out. We've got Dumb and Dusted at the end of the episode as well.
Oh, this is going to
like
be a
this
good one.
For sure.
Alright.
Man, these shows all suck.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
We could do better than this. Hey,
Yeah.
let's do it!
Hey!
Episode 14.
Welcome back to outer space. I just walked in to see that look upon your face. I shoulda yeah, it's a good song. So yeah, we decided to up the budget this week. We decided to go into outer space and
Thanks to our friends at NASA.
Yep, thank you NASA, and become one with the universe.
Yep. I for one do feel like a star child.
Yeah. You may notice that it's just our heads and arms floating around. Our
Yep.
body has been totally
You
merged
can't see our bodies at
with
all.
the universe. You can't see it at all. It's all one.
Yep. So yeah, just two
yeah.
floating heads in space this week.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right.
Thanks for tuning into this unique episode of Funniness is a Warm Gun.
From the universe.
A few things to talk about this week, but not too many to fill up a whole hour.
Yeah.
So we'll see how we go.
There's no news in space, unfortunately.
Yeah. In space, no one can hear you broadcast.
Do you know, on that note though,
Hmm.
once there was a day when no news happened.
Right.
Not literally, but I read an article about it. The slowest news day in history. They just went through like
Didn't
all.
believe you.
Well,
See what I did there?
no. I didn't.
Because in a leaf, I think you lose like a week or a day or...
Alright, so it was that day. No, but it was like an actual proper calendar day.
Right.
And like the most uneventful one they could find. And people on that day did actually notice. There was like a radio broadcaster who like jokingly got on and was like, "Today there is no news." So
That's good.
I wish I had my phone on me. I forgot to take my phone from the couch, so I can't look up what day it was.
They do
but-
say that no news is good news.
Mhm. Looking up slowest news day in history.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, while Kevin's doing that, because I don't want to subject you guys, just us, looking over. Speaking of news, every week, we always have an update on probably one of the most pressing international stories, the mysterious flight of MH370. We always keep you appraised of any developments.
With our ongoing coverage.
Ongoing coverage. Thanks, I almost forgot about that.
Hmm.
But, yeah, welcome to ongoing coverage of MH370.
So this week, there's been no real news, but when it comes to the MH370, it's up to its own.
Yep. They still haven't found it, essentially, is what's going on there. It's still missing. But I'm glad we could let you know that.
Yep.
Otherwise, you might have walked around all week going,
I wonder, did they
have
not?
they found it?
Well, now we're just
No,
letting you know.
they haven't.
Definitely haven't. So that's that.
Yeah, that is.
And I did find the most boring day in news history was the 26th of November in 2010.
Oh, wow, okay.
But it had nothing on April the 11th in 1954. So those are the two most boring news days.
Okay, alright.
There you go. Just FYI, this is most likely the third most boring day.
Yeah. And definitely, I reckon, in the running for most boring week, because
Yep.
really, fuck all has happened.
This is true.
Anyway,
I did see our friend Rob Ford is in good health and he's doing some fitness. There you go, he's gone from the crack to the jumping jacks.
hey, I was wondering how you're going to rhyme that. It's
Me
good.
too.
No, crack the track.
There you go.
That would have been even better, but...
Rob
you blew
Ford
it.
is crack on track.
Mm-hmm. Crack on track.
Yeah, no, good to see.
So, look at this microphone. This microphone is quite interesting.
Yep.
Not trying to just fill time or whatever, but it is
So-
like...
Thank you for the people who actually watched last week's episodes because due to this microphone and the cable, which has now been disowned, half the audio fucked up.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, and we apologise for that. But the second half of the show was pretty good.
It was, and the content behind the glitchy audio was decent. Like the whole thing went nice. But
It's a shame, yeah.
But,
Do you want to talk about that kid who shot up everyone then? Because we didn't really even get to... Okay, cool.
Yep.
He's a psycho. That wasn't very nice of him.
No.
So it was because he couldn't get girls, that's why he did it?
Yep.
Ostensibly, though. Let's face it, that's not really... I mean, like, he was just crazy. Like, whenever something like that happens, like, oh, he watched violent video games, oh, he was misogynistic, or whatever... There are lots of misogynists. There are a lot of people who hate violent video games. A very, very, very small minority, yeah, so I don't really buy that.
Interestingly enough, they were showing Bowling for Columbine. I don't think it's interesting enough like that. They obviously did it on purpose because it was off the heels of those news stories. But it puts things into perspective when you get both sides of the argument, or 3 or 4 sides of the argument.
Do you think Bowling for Columbine is an example of that kind of movie, though?
Yeah, I do.
It's incredibly biased.
Yeah,
Michael
but I
Moore
mean,
is...
the bias of that is different than the bias of the news and the
Right.
media sells.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a more it's a view from the other side of things. So to get those different angles, it really puts it in things in perspective.
You know, what's kind of annoying about Bowling for Columbine? He goes through all these things, and you know, he's like trying to find the reason for it, and you know, he goes through, you know, guns, culture, everything like that, and he goes, oh, okay, you know, but all these other countries, this country has that, and look at their death rates, look at their gun death rates, they don't, and so he does, including guns, he goes, well, we can't say that, Canada has shitloads of guns, whatever.
Yep.
Then he finally figures out that it's all media fear, it's like the culture of fear, that's like his proposition.
Yep.
But then he goes and bags on Charlton Heston at the end of it, and like chastises Walmart for selling bullets. Like, you just said it wasn't the guns. You just said it wasn't the availability of guns or bullets, so why are you making a big scene?
Yeah, that's true. The beef he had with Heston was, I think, when he show up post-shooting and, like, put up his NRA flag.
Oh, yeah, kind of insensitive, sure.
So I don't really think he was, like, attacking Heston for advocating guns. He was doing it for being insensitive to the
right.
people who had suffered or whatever. But yeah, no, I see your argument as well.
Yeah.
And when they were trying to get the bullets banned or whatever, like,
and
but it made a good move.
I believe, having read about it, and it was a while ago since I read about it, I think he even took the Charlton Heston going to the towns, but like out of context as well.
Yeah, right.
Like, he made it seem as if it happened the next day. It was actually like, you know, months and months apart. And,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know, like something like that.
Didn't he win a award for that show?
He won the Oscar,
Yeah, right.
and then he like pissed them off.
Started shooting up the place.
Well, no, he just started like going, you know, I don't believe in the Iraq War, and they're like, come on, get
On
off the stage. Yeah.
It's not cool.
Yeah, well, when
Where's Kanye when you need him?
Alright, Michael, that's really good, I like what you're saying, but Bush is the best president of all time.
A little segue,
Wouldn't say that.
We don't have anything to talk about this, but Kanye just got married.
Yeah.
We didn't get an invite to the wedding. Must have been lost in the mail or something.
Yeah.
Kanye, like, if you're expecting us to show up, sorry, but we didn't get the invite.
I guess you can say we're wedding dropouts. We would have been able to get an invite, but unfortunately, we had a late registration, so we couldn't register in time.
Yep.
My dark, twisted fantasy of being at Kanye's wedding was not realized. He's a real heartbreaker for not... Wait.
Alright, 3 out of 4.
No, 308's and Heartbreak, that's a Kanye album, that kind of
Oh,
works.
you're right. Yes, you're right. Go.
Let's just hope she's not a gold digger. That was a good one. That actually made sense.
Yep.
I didn't have to twist the context of the words around, the tense of the words around, or anything for that one.
Yeah, I don't know too many Kanye. Like, after you said them, I recognised them, but he's not number one on my top favorites. You're a big fan of Kanye.
I'm a pretty big fan of Kanye. Both the person and the musician. That's what's different about me. Because what I like about Kanye West on a personal level is that everyone goes, oh, he's so arrogant. Yes, he is arrogant. But the thing is, like, he's arrogant and he knows it and he embraces it. And he's like, whatever, I'm arrogant.
Yep.
And it's kind of... He's authentic.
Yep.
He's authentic. You know, there's a lot of people who...
Feel the same way but don't act the same way.
Yeah. Like, they pretend to be modest. He's not modest, so he doesn't put on a pretense of being modest. Which I like. And yeah, his music is very innovative. You know, he samples much more creatively, I think most people out there. His rap's okay. Like, he's not the most technically skilled rapper or the fastest rapper or anything like that, but his raps is cool. Like, one, like, I like from that song Forever, just to kind of give you an example of what I think is, like, a classic Kanye line.
Yep.
I feel like I've said this on the podcast before.
Don't know.
Super bad chicks giving me Mick lovin'. You would think I ran the world like Michelle's husband.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Good one.
Kanye's alright in my book.
Yeah, good on you, Kanye.
It's recited by Mato.
Yeah. And Dark Twisted Fantasy is a very good album too.
What's Kim Kardashian doing? Does she do anything?
It's just a reality show, really.
She still does.
I'm pretty sure it's still going. I don't know. She's not sucking dick on camera anymore. But hey, maybe there'll be a sequel. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you can't even really get mad at her if it's her husband.
Speaking of her father,
Other people were mad at her. They thought it was trashy. Go on.
yeah. Her father is represented, I'm not sure if you used this one, OJ. And OJ's back in the headlines.
Oh, we didn't write that down. I don't think we were going to cover that.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. His lawyers are appealing.
Yep.
I didn't read that story though, so I don't know anything about that.
Well, if I remember it correctly, and if it still is the ongoing thing from his robbery thing, some dude had his playing jerseys.
Oh, I know what he did. There was like O.J. Simpson memorabilia, and like so him and a bunch of other people like broke in to steal it back.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the appeal is all about. But apparently they're trying to appeal it again.
It would have been a good.
Imagine if this was like news at 10, and you're like,
We got no facts.
yeah.
OJ
The lawyer, the
no.
OJ people, they want to appeal it, but they're running out of time. But they're going to try and bring that back. All right, next, go on,
For
Kevin.
more info, change channel.
Yeah, but no, you were going to say?
No, it would have been a good news story if the memorabilia was his glove that fitted.
It didn't fit.
Yeah, but if there was one that fitted in, that's what they.
Oh, right, yeah. But they can't re-triumph that anyway. I mean, I believe they could even be video of them doing it now. But like, oh no, have a trial.
Yeah. There's a thing, double jeopardy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if that's true though. Like, how far does that go? Not a physical video of it, really? Or maybe, I guess, because you can't have a law and then go. Do they have that in Australia? But it's still fucked up that you can bring someone back to re-accuse them of the exact same crime.
No, you can't.
Like, because that way, like, the prosecution, like, if you didn't have any bars against that, then a lawyer could be like, okay, they got, like, a not guilty verdict. But we found a new text message. And they could even be, like, holding back on the text message. Just so, like, if they didn't get the conviction, they could bring them back.
That's probably what it's called.
So we do have that in Australia?
Don't know.
Unless there's something like
Well,
that in Australia,
I don't
surely.
know, but there is something like that that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Right? Go on.
One of the dudes who's an NRL rugby league player
Mm-hmm.
got busted for doping and moving it on, so he got like done for doping and for dealing with dope.
Right.
And the way they got him was Customs seized his mobile phone and took his text messages and gave them to the cops. So now his lawyer's saying, well, Customs have no right to do that. So if they win it on that principle,
So then, yeah, it's like searching a house, you need proper cause first, and if you don't have proper cause going in, then anything you find is
and the Customs people have no reason to. They said, oh, we're checking it to make sure there's no child pornography. That's weird.
Yeah.
Alright, what's my phone?
So they had that look, you know, yeah.
That's weird.
They have a thin mustache
So
or
I think
whatever.
that'll get overthrown, and because that was like a kink in the works, I think his whole case will be overthrown.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, so he can keep moving that blow.
Because otherwise, how are sportsmen going to have the edge?
You know, yeah.
You need someone. Someone has to be the bad guy.
This ties into to last week.
Last week. But that was all caught on audio, so we shouldn't retread that.
This is true.
Fine.
This dude, like, so say his sentence was 100% of the time, he got 50% off for admitting guilt, and then you got 25% off for giving up some names. So he like throws himself under the bus and then pulls everyone else with him.
Can you
Gets
do
25% of that time.
Can you do anything to get rid of that extra 25%?
And then all of a sudden, like, probably still got the chicken in his body. Anyway,
It's uncalled for.
it is. But it makes the sport a bit of fun. Speaking of no segues, there was also... I mentioned this to you before, and I don't think that you're across the story, but there was... I think it was Triple M. Like how I've got all my facts like dead on, but the research here is like nth degree right here. I think it's Triple M, one of the DJs, two DJs called up the hospital when the Prince George was being born.
Oh, I did know about this. Yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking about like something recent, and I'm like, what are you... Yeah.
Well, there's a recent...
Kevin was telling me backstage, and I'm like, say it for the podcast, but I haven't heard about it. But no, I've heard about this.
Like
yeah.
Back in the space shuttle.
Yeah.
But now, like, we're set up post. Okay, so the back end of that story was they called a nurse. They said, "Oh, I'm the Queen. I've got a corgi or something."
Yeah,
like, it's ridiculous.
It's funny. Yeah,
and she put it through.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, she put it through. Yeah,
Then what's not funny?
Yeah, you're right.
She hung herself.
Oh, well, that's not good. Not the Queen, I hope,
No.
because then it would be a nation in crisis.
Over like someone impersonated her. She's like, "No, I'm not having any of that." There's only one Queen, and I'm not it.
I wonder what... Did you get to hear what they sounded like when they were impersonating the Queen?
Yeah.
Hello!
It
Like,
was ridiculous. It was like that.
really?
Yeah. So she had a veto gag order in this week where she's been able to speak for herself. So they put a whole bunch of cameras on her and they're like playing the audio back and she's like hysterically crying. She's like so bad. Like, how could I do this in such bad wasn't it?
This isn't after she killed herself, is it? Sorry,
Not the
when...
dead girl, the DJ.
Oh, right, okay. Go on. Sorry.
Again, this would have been a better story if John Edwards like conjures it up.
Yeah,
How
right.
do you feel? But lost my train of thought now. Yeah, so and so she was saying that she was pleading for the station not to play the call or to do a reenactment of the call because she thought it was so bad.
Why would they be doing a reenactment of the call? They got them all fired and there was a huge... Why would they replay the call? They want to replay the call.
No, it's okay. At the time when it happened, in between the time of them recording the skit and then posting the skit on the show, she was like sending emails saying, "Oh, we should not run this prank."
You know what? Exactly, and it seems like the kind of prank they pull all the time. What's the big deal about getting put through the door? It's like, yeah, we cleared it, we got through. Like, who are they hurting? They're hurting nobody. Or what, wasn't there... It still doesn't really matter, but wasn't it when... It wasn't when Prince George was born, it was when Kate had to go to hospital because like she had a really kind of reaction to having a baby and so really severe depression or whatever. So she was in there for a very serious thing. So people thought, I guess that was sort of insensitive, and it kind of is, but it wasn't a big deal. The nurse, I think, must have just had a bit of a screw loose to go and kill herself over that.
She tried to kill herself.
Yeah, just kind of pushing to the edge. And the radio host couldn't have known that. I mean, it's very sad, but I wouldn't fire them. I wouldn't really hold it against them too much.
No, and now, like, I don't know why she's so, like, being nothing so over it. Like, she's saying, like, it's not her fault, she was trying to stop and shit. At the time, that wouldn't have even come into her head. I don't know why she's trying to backtrack now.
A nurse might kill herself. Like, what are you? Some kind of psychic?
Exactly.
No. You'd...
So, yeah.
It was a race against time to stop that prank call from going through, but I was too late.
But imagine
Quit the bullshit.
Imagine if it really was the Queen, and the Queen called through, and she's like, "Let me speak to my grandson," and then the nurse is like, "Hey, you're not the Queen.
Fuck off.
Off with the head."
Yeah.
Imagine that. The Queen's like, "Fucking check it."
I wonder if the Queen really wanted someone killed if she could get it through. The answer's probably no. They have no power. I actually I was thinking about the royal family You know how people say, oh, the Royals, they do nothing, or whatever. Like, it's a common thing to say, and it's true.
Yeah.
And I'd always say that. But one day I was like lying in bed and I was thinking about it, and I actually started laughing, because I never actually thought about, they really do nothing. Like, it's kind of funny that we have this whole family, this extended family of people, that we spend millions of taxpayer dollars on every year, just because...
They were born from somebody.
And it would feel like mean if we stopped. Like, if you got Prince William and Kate, and you're like, okay, we're not going to throw you on the street, but instead of the big castle and all the millions of dollars and the touring, we're just going to, like, put you in a decent duplex, like an apartment nicer than this one.
Oh.
Not that you got a bad apartment, I'm just saying, like, a kind of, like, upper middle class apartment. We're going to fund it, you'll never have to pay your bills, and you never have to work again. Well, not really work now, but you never have to work or anything, but you get this apartment and groceries and everything.
Yep.
For most people, that would be like, sweet. For the Royals, that would be like the worst day of their life. And there'd be like a national outcry over it. And people would be like, how can you get the Royal... It's fucked up, man. It's just really weird that we have this family that we just spend all this money on for no real reason. Like,
all it is, and the only reason is the tradition of it.
Yeah, and the tradition comes back from like when we believed in dragons and shit. Just cut it out.
Yep.
Cut it out, England.
Come on.
Get... Just, yeah, move them to a duplex.
What would you call, like, if they had their... now they've got Buckingham Palace. So what's that do? They go Buckingham Palace.
The Royal 2-bedroom apartment.
There you go.
And the Royal Nursing Home for the Queen.
Yeah.
She's quite spritzy though, isn't she? She's still, she's still up and about.
Yeah.
Do you think Prince Charles is getting impatient, like just fucking die with him? Because he's already at a point in life where he can get like cancer and die or something. Like he's quite old.
Yeah, but what would his next step up? He becomes king, right?
Yeah.
But then what changes for him? Just more public appearances. He's probably like, hold on.
Nah, but he's like the king. Like, come on.
He doesn't seem like the kind of dude who cares.
He's probably been looking forward to it since he was 5. Because you can always resign as prince, like he doesn't have to be anyway.
Really?
He sort of does, but I'm sure if you really want to get out of it,
Yeah.
I'm sure you can opt out.
Imagine if he becomes king and just goes nuts. Just starts like changing everything. Like,
starts putting YouTube videos up about how girls don't like him, and then like just goes and spree kills them all.
Yeah.
That would be really.
Hey, but if you were the king, you could absolutely do anything. You could say every subway now has to have a tail on the back, and they just have to do it. Like,
wouldn't that give me an idea though? Do you reckon like one day eventually, like how like we said before, tons of people play violent video games, like very very few of them go out and spree kill. Tons of people in the social spree. There are tons and tons of politicians. Do you think one day, like a politician, an elected politician, will just like snap and get a gun and just go like in the streets?
well, don't know.
That would be an interesting story, wouldn't it?
It'd be newsworthy.
We could talk about it on Field.
We'd probably have an whole hour of it.
We wouldn't have to pad up the show so much if something that interesting happened.
Yeah.
But right now we're out in buttfuck space and nothing's going on, so we're
Talking about rubbish.
just trying to stretch things out as much as possible. Don't know if you can tell, but thanks for tuning in.
Why are we doing it?
All 4 of you.
Because we can.
Hey, we've got 20 odd people. Oh, there's less than 20. I think we got like 17 people last week. We've got the audio edition.
Nice.
Thanks.
Speaking of video games, I'll keep this one real brief, but I just got that Watch Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Not the best game. It's a good premise. You know what the premise is?
You know nothing about it?
So, like the Batman games or like GTA and stuff, like the open world thing?
Yep.
So it's like that, but the dude that you are, Adrian, he's got a smartphone. And the smartphone has face recognition on it. So you walk around the street and you can see everybody, like it pops up with their name, who they are, and what they fact about them.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone's with that.
Yeah.
So you can also hack into anything, like he's a third hacker, so you can hack into people's mainframes and into their security cameras and use the security cameras to look at their faces and get info on them. It's kind of futuristic and kind of relevant to today with face recognition and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The gameplay is not the best, and half the fuckers when you start down to tile, I mean, one file.
Who publishes it?
I don't know.
Ubisoft?
That's not.
I know that name. They made some cool stuff.
It's a good game. It plays well. But...
You know a game I like to play again? I'm sure you can know it from the internet. Have you played the Mistworld? Or, no, it's not Mistworld, sorry. Neverhood.
No, I've never had.
It's like clay animation, like puzzle solving, and it's got a really cool soundtrack. Sorry, that went nowhere.
What era, what platform?
98 computer.
Wow.
Yeah.
There were some good games around there.
Yeah.
Commander Keen.
Sorry?
Commander Keen.
Didn't have that one.
Specs Quest.
Right.
Police Quest.
What about...
Dig Dug.
There was one... I can't remember the name of it, but me and my friend were fucking addicted to it.
Pacific.
There was like... there was like a shaman, like there were a bunch of different...
Golden Axe.
No!
Golden
Oh,
Axe.
now I'm gonna be fucking trying to figure out the name of this stupid game. It was like one of those like, those look-down strategy war games. But you had like... You only had a few units, and different ones would have different capabilities, and you also had like one main shaman, and the shaman could like cast big fuck-off spells, like hurricanes and shit. It was dope.
Okay.
It was really good. But we enjoyed playing the demo, and we always do fun things with the demo. When we got the actual game, it gets really hard really fast.
Yeah, right.
So after like level 5, you start to go, fuck this.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty good.
I remember the old games before the internet, they used to have a number on the back, and if you have problems, you call this number, and there's like a dude there. You're like, oh, I'm on level 6, and I'm at the...
Oh,
red door,
yeah.
what do you do?
That'd be a cool job, too. They don't have that anymore, do they? Because I guess the internet, you just go up and look.
No, they don't exist anymore. You know, it was dope as well. So when when piracy was like a thing that they cared about,
Yeah.
they the codes, you get an A4 bit of paper with the game, and the codes were written on this brown sheet of paper.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like a grid of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC, and then they say like enter the number at C4. So
Right.
then you go C4 and you type in that number, and then you get him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on that brown sheet of paper so that you couldn't photocopy it.
Uh-huh.
But that was a good anti-piracy thing.
Yeah, clever.
No, they don't give a fuck.
Well, they give a fuck, but it's just the
hard.
the hackers have become so good.
Yep.
So as a result, games I guess have got more accessible and cheaper.
Which is not a bad thing. It means they can put less resources, but it means more people are doing it. So you get like these
Yeah.
open source games, and people just build on it, and that becomes a good game.
Have they done it enough with TV in Australia, do you reckon? Like, I'm going to go home and torrent Game of Thrones, putting it out there. There's no way in Australia I can pay $5 for the most recent episode, is there? Even, it should be like $2, because it's just an episode. Like, over the course of the season, I'm going to spend... Well, I guess it's only $20. It's not that much. Maybe $3. $30 for a season. That's reasonable, isn't it?
You pay that for DVD, yeah?
Yeah. So, like, there's no way I can go to a website in Australia, because they'll be like, no, HBO has the rights. Like, oh, really? Sorry, HBO. Well, I guess I'll go to torrents then and do it for fucking nothing.
Or get a ticket to the US and then watch it and come back.
Which cost a little bit more. Quite a fair bit more.
But this is what I do. So, like, series that I like Dexter, Sons of Anarchy, Breaking Bad, you watch it all for free.
And then you buy it when it comes
yeah,
out.
then you show your respect by buying it and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not as ethical as you. Once I've watched it all and I've already got it on the computer, I just just parting with that $30 just to get something I don't need. Like, you're doing the right thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not arguing against you. I'm just saying that I'm not made of that kind of
that caliber
that
of
kind of
person.
integrity.
Yeah.
If I made a lot more money, I'd definitely do it.
Alright.
But I've got like $50 in my bank account right now.
I can get you one season.
Imagine
Yeah,
if I actually had been paying for all those things. I wouldn't have that $50.
That's right. Yeah, no.
Well, I don't know what kind of point I was trying to make with that.
No, the point is that they shouldn't be cracking down on motherfuckers when it's not available in a legal way.
Mm.
It's so we got Netflix or something, right? We got that kind of.
We don't have Netflix. We don't. No, we don't.
We don't.
Maybe we have an equivalent. I don't think we do. Like, we can't get the movies and stuff at the same time.
We got, and this shit's bullshit. You know that movies or whatever it's called now, the Hoyt's kiosk. It's got these little boxes like at supermarkets, and you put a few dollars in, and then you get a DVD.
Yeah.
Then you go back and you put the DVD back and some shit.
Yeah.
Fuck off! What the hell is that?
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah,
like
those
those are the new things in the malls, right? You can do.
It was just someone's wacky idea, and like, oh yeah, let's do that.
I see people using them though. Really? It's like, yeah, don't you have the internet? But this is the point. This is the point.
Right.
Even though I might be a hypocrite, maybe I don't spend money sometimes where I do have an opportunity. Back, say, more than 10 years ago, 15 years ago,
Right.
it would be that, like, say you'd have a show, like, say, I don't know, I still was watching South Park back then, it's been around for quite a while. But you'd hear from your American friend, oh, this episode, like, they've got the new season so great. You're like, oh, wow, I can't wait to see it in 6 months. And you just have to put up with that. But now we're in a situation where we don't have to put up with that. And studios and stuff just haven't caught up. They haven't realised, like, in America they've done an okay job. They've got the Netflix, they've got, like, live streaming kind of options on the net. These kind of cheap, affordable options. But they've got to understand that people overseas who don't have that, so long as they don't make an option like that for us, where we can just go and get it exactly at the same time, not even a day later, for pretty much the same equivalent money, then piracy is not going to really dwindle much at all, because we're impatient.
Yep.
And we know we don't have to wait anymore. So, heed my warning, HBO and so forth.
My 2 cents on that is that it probably will cost them more to license it to relatively small places like Australia than they will get revenue back from people who buy it.
Yeah.
So I think that US people are buying it, word of mouth is spreading in other countries now.
So, you don't think the license, you think the licensing they get still outweighs as much as they get if everybody who watches in Australia would just pitch in?
No, not everybody in Australia.
Who watches it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Alright. Maybe you're right. I mean, I'm sure they have people in finance. I'm sure these things are thought about.
Yeah. And it's easy to do. Like, if they got it set up for the US people to stream it on their computers, they just take the geo chip off and people everywhere can watch it.
Hmm.
It's easy to do. There must be a reason why.
Okay. We've been padding a lot, but we've actually got, I think, enough topics for the next half an hour without really having to push too much. So,
So now here comes the substance.
Hey, yeah. Sorry for that first half.
That was rubbish.
Bullshit.
What are we doing there?
We're
doing it again. Get on with it.
Hey, come on. So
last week you gave us a little teaser of your comedy routine.
Wasn't a teaser so much as the whole thing, just so I could put it up and get the chick who was booking it to look at it and go, hey, do you think that's going to be cool? Because, so just to recap, I got booked just to do a gig for a thing, fundraising for a thing called the Sea Shepherd. They stop whaling. They go out to the ocean and go, hey, whales, far off, don't do that. And so it was fundraising for them. And because it was an interesting thing to be booked for, I thought, oh, it'd be cool to actually write something on topic. So I tried to write something about whales. It ended up being, I think it was kind of like ironically anti-whales.
Yep.
I was a little bit concerned. I hope they have, good sense of humour about that. Mm-hmm. So I was a little bit worried, but it ended up going really good. They're really cool about it.
Very good. You didn't get harpooned?
Nah. Anti-whalers obviously don't carry harpoons. That's
if they confiscate them off the whales.
The dirty stinking Japs, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, if any dirty stinking Japs are watching, konnichiwa and welcome. And we accept all races and creeds.
We do it.
Yeah, and prejudice.
And PayPal.
Yeah, and Bitcoin.
Yes.
We should actually get that, because you can tip people with Bitcoin. It's kind of popular.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Alright. But the gig went good. I guess one point I was going to make about that is not Bitcoin necessarily, but about the comedy routine. It's kind of funny. It's often the things that you're most scared of, the most risky things that you really think are going to go down poorly, that actually end up going well. And then it's also the kind of things that often that you think are really sure to go down well. They're a bit too obvious, and they don't go down well.
It's risk and reward.
Yeah.
Greater risk, greater reward.
It's true. Truth.
If you play it safe, no matter what you're doing, if you're up there just saying, like, knocking on the door, even if, like, you didn't get food, but you just got a few dogs, like, you wouldn't feel good about it.
Yeah.
Go with the order. Which you proved. And it went down nice.
Yeah.
How many whales did you say off that show?
Off of the set, off of the bit. 7.
Wow. There you go.
I estimate.
Could be anywhere up to maybe 14.
Yeah, best case scenario. No less than 2.
let's just say Matt did his thing through good spirit comedy alone.
I wonder if you can actually calculate something like that. Like, okay, Sea Shepherd raised X amount over the course of this year. Say this many whales, this much of their funding was allocated directly to the stopping them in
How
the
would you
ocean.
stop it? Like, where does that money go? What would they do?
Oh, it'll go to like fueling the ship and
What? The stopping ship.
ship. The stopping ship.
What do they do?
They get the ship and they kind of like drive it up near the ship that's whaling and kind of get in their way and in their path and make them fucking yeah.
Is that effective?
According to them, I don't know. I mean, I haven't read unbiased stats. I've only heard their side of the argument.
What about using that money to educate the fish? They're already in schools. Yep.
It's good.
This is when you need a laugh track. That would have brought the house down. Oh no, good on you. And good to hear that it came off. How long was that?
10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the rest of the day, did you enjoy the surroundings?
Well, the day before that, I fucking got up really late on the day I did that actually. Because I think, why was I up so late? I don't know. But I think I ended up, I went to bed really late the night before and got up at like 2. And then, like the thing started at 6:30, so get up.
In the morning?
No. 6:30 p.m. So I just got up. Did that shit. That was the day. That was the surroundings I already had.
But I mean, when you like, no one presumed they were there for other reasons than to see you. Right?
Yeah, they were there
So
to.
did you stick around for that?
I watched everyone else. Yeah.
What else? Like other comedians?
No, they had like a few comedy acts, and they had some people doing poetry. Not the kind of rhyming poetry.
So they were just saying words.
Yeah, kind of more like the giving a sort of structured speech sort of poetry. So a lot of poems are like that.
Speak.
They're not all like roses are red, violets are blue, blah blah blah. Like a lot of poems are just kind of. I don't know what the technical definition of a poem is. Can you look it up? Poem.
No, they don't need to write. I'm sure they
Yeah.
It needs to have structure.
Yeah, what kind of structure though? It's interesting because you can tell when you listen to a poem, but at the same time, what's the difference between just that and an essay? Like, what if I was like, "Hey Kevin, how you doing? I hope you had a good day. I have."
It'll be a poem.
Well, but me saying that isn't. But if I'm like, "Hello, Kevin, I hope you had a good day. I have." Like that would be a poem. You kind of say it in a certain way.
Exactly right. It's a piece of writing in which the expression of feelings and ideas is given by it. So,
And yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, they were good. They're both pretty intense. Because let's face it, you go to a thing like that,
you don't get lost.
they're gonna have some pretty intense political beliefs. But that was all fine.
That was him.
Hmm.
You know what I saw? Which something that I've found out about recently is the beatniks.
Like hippies.
Yeah.
Or is that a particular type of hippie, like the one from drum circles and everything?
Yeah, so it's like a hipster mixed with a hippie kind of thing. So it's where they used to get together in like these, dodgy bars and do their culture and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I watched this very interesting old school movie called A Bucket of Blood.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a non-grotesque horror movie.
Okay.
It's really good. If you're into that kind of thing, watch it.
This isn't your DVD review, is it? Yeah, okay.
Check it out.
Should we go? Should we segue into that though? Because I've really said all I need to say
Yep.
about the political action thing.
Yep. So my DVD, which I will be reviewing this week, Rosemary's Baby,
Oh, okay.
and because it's green, I doubt you can finish it. But because it's also in space, see, Mia Farrow is swimming in space. But this is, it's, I would say it's a horror movie without any horror.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
No, I've heard the title before though.
So, without breaking any of the plot or the surprises, the plot of it is that Rosemary has a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Roll credits. But what happens between the fact that she has the baby and that she knows she's going to have the baby is her husband is an actor, so he sells his wife's uterus to the devil.
Wait, so while she's pregnant...
No, so she wants to have a baby. They want to have a baby.
Right.
So he like gives Satan a call. He's like, hey, check it out.
Okay.
If you make me a famous actor, you can impregnate my wife.
How does he contact Satan?
Pager.
Pager, okay, right.
Okay, so the next door neighbours are they're witches, or they're descendants from witches.
That's a coincidence.
Hmm.
You didn't contact Satan. Turns out you've had witches living to you all this time.
Well, they just moved into the place, and they're like, oh, she wants a baby, and then they become friends.
Okay.
So check it out, you know, Satan himself, in one spot.
Okay.
So the whole thing is Rosemary kind of cluing onto the fact that, you know, people are plotting against her and shit, which doesn't know if she's crazy or if it's real and what's going on. And then there's a big reveal at the end, which is kind of cool.
Should I put up the thing and you tell us what the big reveal is?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so when you see this guy again, so mute now, and when you see this guy again, unmute. Go.
So the end of it, and why it's a horror movie without any horror, is that she gets into this room where everybody's, like, all her friends are there, and she figures out all her friends are part of this satanic cult.
Mm-hmm.
So the baby's in a black rocking chair. She's like, oh, what's this? That's my kid. And then they're like, no, it's your kid, but the father's Satan. Dun, dun, dun. And then she goes over and starts to rock it. And then it goes to the credits.
So she marries Satan.
Well, you don't know. That's the thing. You don't see the baby. You just see her. She like in the back, so you can't see her face if she accepts it or not. She just goes over like check out her son, and then she rocks with him, and that's it. And I think there was a sequel to it a long time ago.
Any more spoilers?
Yeah, there's something dope as well. So they convince her that she's crazy, that it's not a real thing. So they have her in this room, and then she can get a kid from the next room.
Mm-hmm.
And then they take her breast milk and then like feed it to her, so like the kid thinks that his mum's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes in there. In that room with all her friends is Sharon Tate.
Oh, so this is before...
Yeah, so this is in 68.
Okay, alright.
In 1969 was when Chucky Manson and the family
That mean shit.
murdered Sharon Tate in that cult skeleton.
Yep.
So, interestingly enough, Sharon Tate was married to the director of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So after he made this movie about some bad shit going on in Hollywood,
Yeah.
the family killed his wife. Called it Helter Skelter, which came from a Beatles song.
Yeah.
Now, on a disconnect, kind of on the same thing, the hotel, the complex where it was filmed, is where John Lennon, who was in the song Helter Skelter, died.
I thought John Lennon lived his... should I put this up?
Yeah, please.
I thought John Lennon died outside of an apartment building. I don't know he was in a hotel.
Apartment.
Okay, alright. Alright.
Outside the same place. They changed the name. But yeah, it's kind of cool to everything. But it puts things in perspective, especially when you know the background of the family and why they chose that person and what she was doing just before and what her husband was doing just before. So,
Any relation to the number 23? Do you have a bit of a back reference? Anyway, how many John? Well, I know. I was wondering because like weird coincidences and everything, and that you were doing.
No, well, actually, thanks for bringing that up because this is not just a movie review. This is a DVD review, and on this DVD, there's two special features. One is interviews with the director, the production executive, and the production designer, and the second one is a making of feature, and both of them are useless.
Oh, really?
The features they don't add anything to the package at all. So, if I'm going to say it's a DVD, it's a movie review, I'd give it about an 8.5, 9. This is a dope piece of time for the movies.
So how many John Stamos?
This is a DVD review. So John Stamos on the DVD, I'm going to give it 6.5.
Okay.
Because they could have done so much more. There's so much interesting shit that they could like put around the movie and like knowing what they know now, they could have flipped back and made some dope things. 6.5 John Stamos's.
Okay. If it didn't have any features, that's why sometimes, if you make a DVD, just don't put any features in. If they're going to be shitty.
Or kill it, no filler. If it's going to feel, just leave it off. Yeah,
so otherwise, if you put those crappy features in, you could have had an 8 John Stamos rating, but then you get 6.5. Just think about the John Stamoses when you're putting a DVD together, okay?
It's not about giving more for their money, it's about giving quality.
Alright, now, moving right along, we don't really care about Justin Bieber, yet somehow we keep talking about him.
Yeah. I think it's just because it's so trivial.
Yeah, and it's always in the media, and you're just like, oh, geez.
And shit that shouldn't be in the media.
So he said the N-word.
A few times.
He said it 5 years ago, though, so I actually think it's kind of mean. It's like, come on. Yep. You could have got pissed off at him then, but you've had 5 years to get pissed off at him.
Yep.
You can't be mad at him because he was racist 5 years ago. But
I don't think it was racist. The joke was racist, but I don't think it was racist.
You know what? The joke wasn't actually racist.
It wasn't even funny, to be honest.
Oh, wait, was it? Because it was saying something about black people, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was,
right.
It was racist. No, it was what I said before. It's racial, but it wasn't racist.
Yeah.
People can get offended by it, and I have no problem with that, but I don't think it was a racist joke. I think it was a racial joke.
I really only caught the fact that he said the N-word. I can't remember what the setup for the joke was. I just watched it really quickly when I was groggy before going to work. Did you hear Seth Rogen called him a piece of shit too?
Oh.
That's funny.
Does he have any clout to say that?
Well, yeah, apparently like they were at like a thing where they were like in the same studio, and Justin Bieber actually asked for Seth Rogen to be brought over to him.
Yeah.
And Seth Rogen's like, alright, goes over, and then like, even after that, Justin Bieber was like, all nonchalant and shit. And it's like, well, you fucking asked me to come over here, you dick. So he just called him a piece of shit in an interview. And he drew a nice comparison saying, like, because you know how he's in the movie with Zac Efron at the moment?
Yeah.
He drew a rather nice comparison of Zac Efron being a decent guy. Where he's like, look, when I first met Zac Efron kind of knew, like, the undertone of, like, you're a little teen heartthrob, I'm not supposed to be impressed by you, or whatever. So Zac Efron was kind of like, no, he wasn't, like, meek or anything, but he's like, oh, hey man, what's up, you know, not very unassuming. And then Justin Bieber was like, yeah, I'm a teen heartthrob. You impressed? You're impressed by the fact that a bunch of teenage girls think I'm cool? Like, not literally, he didn't say that, but it was the sort of vibe he gave, yeah.
I saw something that was fucked up. Justin Bieber was on his balcony and there's all these his fans or whatever under him, and he's spitting on the fans.
Oh, just tour? Like,
yeah.
Really?
Like, he was like with all his buddies, like, oh, check this out. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Cut that shit out, dude.
That's what happens when you're 12 and then, like, you just take off out of nowhere. So you don't have time to be grounded.
Some people do.
Some people do,
You
yeah.
have good people around you, they keep you out of that shit. What happened when he started going downhill was Usher got out of the picture. And then some fucking scooter guy.
Usher doesn't make any more money off Justin Bieber?
Probably does, but he's not like with him, he's not mentoring him.
Right, okay.
So he's like, you know, you probably shouldn't spit on people who buy a CD.
Oh, yeah.
You need someone like that around.
Maybe some of them like it, though.
Well, that's, yeah. If it's not assault if it's consensual.
Yeah.
And no, they probably didn't mind, but I don't think that was his intention. I don't think it was.
Thanks for coming out, guys. Yeah.
A bit of my spit.
You know who I hate though, because I mean, you know, I've said on multiple occasions I don't really care about Justin Bieber either way. Jaden Smith's still a dickhead though.
Nah, I got his back.
Oh, I think I've already talked about this in the podcast, haven't I?
Yep.
Oh, okay, never mind then. I don't want to cover all ground, but just go back to episode whatever the fuck it was and hear me rip on Jaden Smith.
And he's sticking up for him.
Did you see the Karate Kid remake?
Yeah.
I didn't. Was it any good?
That was alright.
It was okay.
They flipped it around. Like, yeah, it was good. Jackie Chan's in it.
He wasn't in the original though, was he? It was Mr. Okimaji.
Not too sure.
Dude. But yeah, I guess in summation, Justin Bieber shouldn't have said it, but who cares?
Yeah, really.
Have you heard his like really early ones, like before he was a teen heartthrob, like the ones on YouTube that got him discovered? Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Are they? Is he really impressive?
You know, I've got to say, I saw Never Say Never. The is that the name of it? The Justin Bieber movie.
Yeah, it is.
It's
I
a good
believe.
movie. Like it's the majority of it is his background, like him coming up and.
Is it a theatrical or is it a documentary type thing?
It's a documentary.
Right. Okay.
Like on him coming up and going into like scout halls by himself and playing drums. It's like this mini dude like blowing everyone's mind with his music ability and shit.
Right.
Like he had the fucking chops.
He was very talented. Okay. All right. Because I think people kind of if that is the case, people kind of overlook that a bit because he's become such a, a media put up kind of figure, commercialized. You kind of forget there is actually some raw talent behind all
That's
that.
That's exactly it.
Bullshit.
What you see is the video clips with the flashing lights and all that shit. You don't see like for a 3-minute song it takes like fucking 7 weeks to write the damn thing and then to record it and then to revise it and shit. Like that, it takes talent to make that end product. And he's every single step of the way he's involved in this one. I give him props.
Yeah.
You don't spit on motherfuckers. That shit.
No, she shouldn't do.
I know a lot of things. What's that?
One thing, hit your partner,
Yeah, especially if you're a girl.
especially if you're a
No,
girl.
wait. Just both people doing that shit.
Anyway, we wanted to kind of bring this up to kind of wrap up the show before bringing it to Dumb and Dusted. One thing I said, and I've been interested in getting your opinion on this, Kevin. It was a video I saw trending on Facebook, quite a few people posting it. Basically what it is, it's a kind of hidden cam thing that this anti-domestic violence group put together. So, there's like a guy and a girl in public, 2 actors, pretending to be a legit couple. And they start getting into a bit of a heated argument, and like the guy gets more and more, physically aggressive, and like eventually, like, kind of like it gets to the point where he's like holding her face and like, and then these people come up and go, "Hey man, what the fuck are you doing?" This woman kind of like chastises him and tells him about, and like it's like okay, and then I guess they wait for a bit until like none of the original pedestrians are around anymore. Otherwise, it would kind of defeat the purpose a bit. So they wait until like the people around them are pretty much reset, and they do it again. Except this time it's the woman who more graduate, and she actually goes like more hardcore with it. And he doesn't retaliate at all, and like they very much like people actually kind of laugh.
Yeah, right.
Kind of go, oh, what the fuck's going on there?
He's kind of fun.
Yeah, and it was all to underline that. And apparently, and this is a stat that I'm really skeptical of how it's calculated, but apparently 40% of domestic abuse in the UK, or Scotland at least, is actually female on male.
Yeah, right.
Again, I'm skeptical of that. Like, what do they mean? Like, is it... Because, for instance, if you're in a bar and you say something to offend a chick, and you get slapped, that's seen as like... I mean, maybe they shouldn't, but...
Yeah, but you're not going to call that in.
Yeah. Like, it's just one of those things. So, like, what are they counting as domestic abuse? Are they, like, a police officer has to come over and the guy's like, oh, my face, like...
So.
Is that what they're talking? Yeah, I don't know, though.
That's an incredible stat if that's what it is.
40%. Yeah, I'm skeptical of that.
Yeah.
But maybe. But I kind of posted on Facebook going, I mean, men are, for the most part, inherently more physically dangerous. So, I mean, it is pretty disgusting that people laughed in the video. Like, it's not nice to be beating a guy up. But at the same time, you can get why people have more of a visceral reaction against seeing a stronger person kind of hurt a weaker person. Although, everything with the video, I think they purposely made it so they're physically like not that fully matched,
if it was
like height wise.
If it was like this kickboxing girl and like a small dude, then the outcome would have been different. People wouldn't be laughing. They'd be like, "Hey, stop beating on the little dude."
Yeah.
So,
Would we though? Maybe we wouldn't. I don't know. Like,
don't know.
There's the bystander effect though. Like, it's kind of like surprising almost that anyone came up to any of them, because isn't there that bystander effect where in large crowds people are more likely to do nothing because they think someone else will do it?
Yeah, right.
Anyway, that's a tangent. Anyway, so I posted my thoughts about that, and then, like, some people got on saying, yeah, right on, bullshit, false equivalency type thing.
Yep.
And then some of my other friends got on saying, no, like, it is a serious issue, and, like, there shouldn't be a double standard in terms of that. It's never okay to hit. Not that I was ever saying it was okay to hit, but they were saying it is a real problem, basically.
Yeah, I think it's different when, like, if the police are there and it's like person A hit person B or person B hit person A, then in the law's eyes, there's no difference.
Oh, actually, that's not true, and this is fucked up.
Okay.
There's a thing in the UK, at least recently, where if a woman kills a man, like kills a husband or whatever, it's more likely she'll get manslaughter because of the physical strength of a woman. It's seen by the law as like not reasonable that she would have intentionally expected that she would be able to kill him.
All right. Well, then can I say, if that's the law, then the people reflect the law. Then that's why those results happen.
Well, but I mean, the people should maybe come and say, no, we don't like that reflection. Let's change the law. I mean, I think it's kind of fucked up.
No, I agree. I'm just
yeah. Anyway, I was talking to one of my friends about it, and he showed me an interesting video. And this is kind of one of the things I wanted to come into. Like, I was kind of surprised at myself. It was a video about like female on male domestic abuse. It was about a guy who like legitimately like would what did she do? She like hit him with like chopping blocks and everything, and like really busted the guy up a little bit, like proper domestic violence, not like
on video,
not that or anything. No, not on video, but I mean like, you know, he had marks and everything, and same as if like a woman goes to the doctor, it's like, yeah, another black eye, fell on the stairs again type thing.
Right.
Like he was being properly abused.
Yep.
And anyway, in the thing they mentioned that they've started a men's refuge. So that you smiled. I smiled too. Yeah. Like, and when I smiled, I was like, oh, that's mean of me. And especially seeing as I'm quite like a relatively meek in physical stature and strength. Like, you know, why do I find it so funny that a man might be abused and go to a men's refuge center? But it does. It has that visceral kind of response, doesn't it, from guys?
I don't know. Yeah, I can't give any explanation either.
Hmm.
I think, like, really it's just one of those things.
Different societal expectations for a man. The other point that I made to my friend, and again, it's hard to say anything without being sexist here.
Yep.
To either gender.
Yep.
I said it's not just the physical aspect of it. It's just for a man, there just seems to be more of an onus on the man to walk away and just be like, I'm not tolerating this shit.
Yep, true.
But saying that conversely implies that women are weak, helpless creatures that can't stand up for themselves and walk away. Like when the woman goes back, it's her fault type thing. Which I guess some extreme people would argue that to an extent. But yeah, I don't know. It's just it was interesting to me the kind of double standard in gender roles. That...
Can I put it this way then? If a dude is like in a position to intimidate someone who's small, whether it's a girl or a guy,
mm-hmm.
it's because like it's that intimidation factor that the smaller person isn't going to hit him first, right?
Because they're going into a losing battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that person,
they're bringing piss to a shit fight.
If the small person was to try to get away from that situation, it would almost be futile because there's a draw there because the intimidation's already in there. I don't know how to say it properly, but
yeah.
What I'm getting at is that if it was, like I said before, if it was a small dude and a big girl,
mm-hmm.
then I think the reaction would have been different, and it was probably staged or stooged to make the point of the video. Yeah,
definitely confirmation bias. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that hidden cam thing. A big chunky woman just beating up a little guy like me.
Yeah, no one would be laughing.
Yeah. Okay, alright, anyway, for a show that's been padded, we're actually running out of time, so I think it's that time, Kevin.
It is.
For
everyone's
favorite segment.
It is.
It's old.
It's stupid.
It's no longer relevant. It's dumb and dusty. Hey.
And this week.
Welcome back. This week for Dumb and Dusted, where we talk about something of old that is not missed. We've got rotary phones.
Yeah.
They're a pain in the ass, aren't they?
They are.
You know what I like about this?
What's that?
You don't have to go like...
Yep.
To dial one number, you just go like that.
Press it once and that's it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yep.
Um,
And also, you don't have to wait for it to come back.
yeah,
You
wait
press it,
for.
and then you press the next one. Done.
Well, imagine if you go through to like one of those prompts, like press 1 for, and you got to listen to all the options, right, before you go pressing anything. And then by the time like gone through the options, like okay, number 5, you're like okay. Before the thing's even gotten to the end, where it hears it's like, sorry, did you want option what? Because it's like the pause there. And you're like, I'm using a rotary phone.
Yep.
Wait. I gave you my option, but it's taking a while to go around, so don't re-prompt me.
Yep.
That would be annoying if you had to call in a hotline or customer service line.
And imagine calling international numbers.
Oh my god.
Like RSI.
Jesus, yeah, it could writers and stuff.
It's definitely a health risk.
Just absolutely dumb and dusted.
Yep.
Rotary
I don't miss
phones.
them at all.
No, they can just go suck a fat one.
Yep, I don't like them.
Anyway, guys,
So,
thanks for tuning in.
I hope
And
you learned something in this episode. This has been Fiog episode 14, and we'd just like everybody to enjoy themselves and watch us next week. And take it easy.
keep it clean.